Chapter 12 of The Fortunes of Glencore. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by The Grumpy Old School. The Fortunes of Glencore by Charles James Lee. Chapter 12, A Night at Sea. Faces of the attendants around him were stained with blood, which seemed the more ghastly from contrast with their pallid cheeks. They moved hurriedly to and fro, scarcely remembering what they were in search of, and evidently deeming his state of the greatest peril. Traynor, the only one whose faculties were unshaken by the shock, sat quietly beside the bed, his fingers firmly compressed upon the orifice of the vessel, while with the other hand he motioned to them to keep silence. Glencore lay with eyes closed, breathing long and labored inspirations, and at times convulsed by a slight shiver. His face and even his lips were bloodless, and his eyelids of a pale, livid hue. So terribly like the approach of death was his whole appearance that Upton whispered in the doctor's ear, "Is it over? Is he dying?" "No," said Glencore, and with the acute hearing of intense nervousness, he had caught the words. "It is not so easy to die. There now. No more talking, no discoursing. Easy and quiet is now. Winded up and leaving. With him, Glencore went to Upton. Very glad this spot is have the blood coming out or salt. You must be patient, said the Upton. You know I'm always ready when you want. And you'll not leave this? You'll not desert me?" cried the other eagerly. "Certainly not. I have no thought of going away." "There now, hold your prat, both ye, or, by my conscience, I'll not take the responsibility upon me. I will not," said Billy, angrily. "'Tis just a disgrace and a shame that ye haven't more discretion." Glencore's lips moved with a feeble attempt at a smile, and in his faint voice he said, "We must obey the doctor, Upton, but don't leave me." Upton moved a chair to the bedside, and sat down without a word. "Ye think an artery is like a canal, with a lock gate to it, I believe," said Billy, in a low, grumbling voice to Upton, "and ye forget all its vermicular motion, as old Fabricius called it, and that it is only by a coagulum, a kind of barrier, like a mud breakwater, that it can be plugged. Be off, out of that, ye spalpeens! Be off, every one of yez, and leave us tranquil and peaceable." This summary command was directed to the various servants who were still moving about the room in imaginary occupation. The room was at last cleared of all save Upton and Billy, who sat by the bedside, his hand still resting on the sick man's forehead. Soothed by the stillness, and reduced by the loss of blood, Glencore sank into a quiet sleep, breathing softly and gently as a child. "Look at him now," whispered Billy to Upton, "and you'll see what philosophy there is in ascribing to the heart the source of all our emotions.